Hello, this is Donna Lewis again with the Clark County Park District, and today is another Reading in Nature program, also known as CROW, Children Respecting Ohio's Wildlife. So every month we do a book and learn about some things in nature, and then I'm going to give you a small activity to do and also direct you to the craft to do this Thursday with Bailey. All right, so the book that we're reading today is called The Story of Snow. It's The Science of Winter's Wonder by Mark Cassino with John Nelson, PhD. So this book is a learning book, not just a story book. So we're gonna learn about snow today. And it's a perfect time to learn because we just had a pretty big snowstorm move through, right? So hopefully you guys all got out to play in the snow. Our story starts on a winter day, just like today, high up in the sky in a cloud that is very, very cold. This is the story of snow. Clouds are mostly made of air, which we can't see. Then there is water vapor, water in the form of gas, which we also can't see. We do see the billions of tiny droplets of liquid water and ice crystals that float in the cloud. They reflect light, making the cloud visible. So that's how you see the clouds. Snow begins with a speck. Clouds are mostly made of air and water, but there are also bits of other things, like tiny particles of dirt, ash, and salt. Even living bacteria can float in the wind and end up in a cloud. A snowy crystal needs one of these specks to start growing. These specks are all much smaller than the eye can see, but if you could see them, so you've got a particle of soil, salt left over from the ocean, so you can see all these. I'll let you guys read them. So these are different specks that might be in a cloud. The speck becomes the center of a snow crystal. When a speck gets cold enough, water vapor will stick to it. If you had a microscope that could see such small things, here's what you would see. Water vapor sticks to the cold speck, making the speck wet. More water vapor sticks to the wet speck, forming a water droplet. The water droplet freezes into a ball of ice. More water vapor sticks to the ball of ice and it grows into a hexagon-shaped ice crystal. The water vapor continues to stick to the crystal. Faster growth in the corners causes 6 branches to sprout. The branches keep growing, sprouting little arms of their own, and a beautiful snow crystal is born. So let me see, here's the pictures of that. So that kind of shows you how a snow crystal is born. So what we call snowflake, the little things falling from the sky, are snow crystals. But once they pack together, then we get snowflakes. These photographs of real snow crystals are shown much larger than their actual size. The crystals were collected during many different snowfalls. So here's the snow, the photography they're showing you, that is actually this size right here. So the actual size is just a speck, but look how intricate they are. A snow crystal forms as it falls. As the snow crystal gets bigger and heavier, it starts to fall to earth. It keeps growing as it falls through its cloud, taking on its own special shape. The shape depends on how wet the cloud is and how cold it is. A snow crystal can start to grow one way, but then grow another way when it passes through a wetter or colder part of its cloud. The crystal stops growing soon after falling below the clouds. Snow crystals can be stars. One common snow crystal shape is the star. Star-shaped snow crystals usually have 6 arms reaching out from a center point. The center point is the home of the speck that started the crystal. The 6 arms look alike, but they are almost never exactly alike. So snow crystals can look like stars. So they all started as a tiny speck from the middle. Isn't that cool? Snow crystals can be plates. Plate crystals are thin like star crystals, but they don't have arms. The simplest kind of plate is a hexagon with 6 straight sides. More complicated plates have points where arms almost grew. So the points on this plate crystal are the beginnings of arms that were just starting to develop when the crystal fell out of its cloud and stopped growing. So there's one with some arms on it, and there's one without. So these are different kinds of crystals. Snow crystals. Snow crystals can also be columns. Column-shaped snow crystals are shaped like pencils. They're not flat like stars and plates. Columns can form high in the clouds and at very cool temperatures. They are very tiny, and when they fall, they make for very slippery snow. So the stuff you don't want to walk on. So here are different kinds of columns. So snow crystals can be shaped like that. So there's an actual one right there. And it doesn't show the actual size. You can't even see it, can you? So tiny. Six is the magic number for snow crystals. This is because of the nature of water. Water molecules, the smallest units of water, attach themselves into groups of 6, which usually leads to crystals with 6 arms or 6 sides. A perfect star or a plate snow crystal has 6-fold symmetry. That means if you divided the crystal into 6 pie wedges, each pie wedge would have the same shape. If you think of a star crystal as a clock, the arms of a star crystal can point to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12 o'clock, only those times. So they all point to those times. So see the symmetry in that crystal? It's pretty amazing how these cameras can get such close pictures. Snow crystals are rarely perfect. So much can happen during a snow crystal's fall to Earth. It is rare that one will turn out perfectly. If a droplet of water passes close to one arm of a snow crystal, that arm can start to grow faster. Before long, that one arm will be a lot longer than the others. So on this one, it has a longer arm. Can you see the differences in the others? So see if you can find the differences. A snow crystal can be a twin. A snow crystal can have 12 arms. This is a twin crystal, which happens when 2 crystals start from the original speck and form on top of each other. So this one has 12 arms because 2 formed together. So it's called a twin. A snow crystal can have bumps. If there are enough water droplets near the crystal, some can strike the crystal and freeze on contact. This gives the crystal little bumps called rime. So you can see the little bumps on the crystals. You'd probably never see them really, except in this picture. Many snow crystals make one snowflake. So again, many snow crystals together make one snowflake. Often snow crystals bump into each other and get stuck together. When this happens, snowflakes form. Hundreds or even thousands of snow crystals can be found in a single snowflake. Snowflakes we see falling from the sky are usually clumps of snow crystals like these. Individual crystals, which are also sometimes called snowflakes, can fall on their own, but they are much smaller and harder to see. So most of the time what we see falling are snowflakes, but sometimes you can catch the little tiny snow crystals as well, or a couple stuck together. So here's a couple stuck together. And here's a ton of them stuck together. Once a snow crystal lands, it starts to wither away. Snow crystals can't keep growing after they fall from the clouds. And when a crystal stops growing, it immediately starts to wither. Soon the arms of the crystal break down and the crystal shape becomes rounded. This means that if you want to see a snow crystal, you need to catch it in the air or find it very soon after it lands. So when they're not in the clouds surrounded by the water vapor, they need to grow. Snow crystals quickly start to erode. Try catching one on your sleeve or glove to see the snow crystal structure at its best. So there's one somebody caught on a glove. Are no 2 snow crystals alike? Some simple plate crystals may appear exactly alike as seen through a high-quality microscope. When it comes to more complicated snow crystals, though, odds are that no two are exactly alike. But then no two leaves, flowers, or people are exactly alike either. Snow crystals are like us. We're each different, but we have a lot in common. So here's all the different kinds that you could see, and even more different kinds than that. So how to catch, that is the end of the reading of the book. Now, how to catch a snow crystal, okay? So there's a really good thing in the back of the book, and I was like, well, that's perfect. That's the activity I'll do. So all you need is a piece of dark cardboard or foam core board. It should be about the size of this book, okay? Or you can use just like a black piece of paper. That's all you have, okay? Something dark. And make sure it's stiff enough to stay flat when you hold it by one edge. A magnifying glass so you can see the snow crystals better. So if you have some little magnifying glass at home, see if you can borrow that from mom or dad to see your snow crystals closer. Now wait till it snows. So put the cardboard or foam core outside for at least 10 minutes before catching snow. It needs to be cold or else the snow will melt right after landing. Make sure the board stays cold and dry. Gripping the board by one edge, hold the board out flat and watch as the snow lands on it. So you could put the piece outside or you could hold it. If it is snowing hard, step under a porch roof or some other shelter so less snow falls on the board. Otherwise, it'll fill up with snow. Look at the smaller bits of snow that land on the board. This is where you will find the individual snow crystals. Use a magnifying glass to look at them closely. Once you've looked at the snow, shake off the board and try again. In the right kind of snowstorm, you should be able to see many individual snow crystals. I love to catch snow. And you can also catch it on your tongue too. That's pretty fun. So, cold but really fun. So that is called The Story of Snow, The Science of Winter's Wonder. Now, Miss Maggie always has a secret word for me to give you, so if you know the secret word to give to her for today's story, this is the only place I give it to you. The secret word is crystals, all in lowercase. So make sure you give Miss Maggie your secret word. Miss Maggie at the New Carlisle Library. You can find this book with Miss Maggie once I return it. You can find this in the New Carlisle Library and also probably your local library wherever you live. And they can probably order it for you to get it to the library so you can check it out. All right, everybody, thank you so much. And don't forget that Cool Crafts with Bailey is this Thursday at 3 o'clock. We'll be doing snow slime. You do need to register for the program this week through, we're going to do Zoom this time so you can ask questions through our chat while we do the program. So make sure that you email me, dlewis@clarkcountyparks.org if you would like to register. Otherwise, it will be taped and shown at a later time. All right, everybody, thank you. See you next week.